Hey everyone! George Washington was not the first Washington to serve in the military or an elected office in America. On July 3rd, 1661, one day and 115 years before the first Independence Day, John Washington, George's great-grandfather, and Andrew Monroe, 5th U.S. President James Monroe's great-great-grandfather, were elected to their first civic political offices together outside of their mandatory militia service. They became 2 of 12 individuals on the first vestry of the new Appomattox parish of the Anglican Church in Westmoreland County. Today, one does not think of the church vestry as a powerful entity, but a group of grannies leading bake sales. Back then, they were very powerful and implemented governmental functions. Remember, 1661. This is well prior to 3 constitutional branches of American government. The 1650s and 60s in the Virginia colony were a confusing time for government, just as it was in England as they battled between monarchy and the protectorate of Oliver Cromwell. The House of Burgesses in Jamestown made some of the laws that were followed day to day and represented the will of the crown and, to a small degree, the people. A very structured and routine mandatory militia was probably more organized than the Burgesses were. In counties, justices of the peace were the equivalent to modern county commissioners, but had much less power and oversight, but a lot more responsibilities. They played coroner, detective, dog catcher, collector, and judge. The church vestry had a lot of power, even taxing authority, and control on private property. The vestry could send out the sheriff to collect. So John Washington became the equivalent of the chairman and oversaw many important functions, mostly because he lived less than a mile from the new church they built, in large part with his own investment. Anyway, I found the date July 3rd, 1661, being so close to July 4th, a cool coincidence considering it was the ancestors of the first and last president of the Revolutionary founding era going into office together. Also, 5th President James Monroe ended up dying on July 4th, as did John Adams, the 2nd president, and Thomas Jefferson, the 3rd. Those 2 on the same day. 3 of the first 5 U.S. presidents. In fact, today, when one visits Montpelier, the home of the 4th president, James Madison, the living historians tell the story from the room where Madison died that on the 28th of June, the doctor offered him medicine to keep him alive until July 4th if he wanted to continue the tradition. He declined. These are just some of the many cool little nuances you'll read about in Shipwrecked in the Land of King Tobacco, the story of the first Washington immigrant to America, John Washington, George's great-grandfather. In becoming a vestryman, he started a tradition that every Washington man would follow as a matter of character, virtue, service. John's son Lawrence also served on the vestry. Lawrence's son Augustine, George's father, also served on the vestry, although by then the parishes had been reapportioned and it was a different church. Anyway, Shipwrecked is in the stages of undergoing final edits. I have some cool ideas in mind that I hope work out as far as publishing and distribution. In the meantime, I'll keep updating you. You can listen to Chapter 1 and 2 in audio form right here on my YouTube channel. And if you support me on Patreon with $20, you can unlock additional chapters. As of right now, the release date is July 4th in paperback on Amazon. Talk to you next time.